It was up to me, I'd fight them, someone from off the street and get an easy win. But they're like, no, you need someone credible. So they went around.
No, you not can do. Because you not can do 1 minute.
Anthony Joshua is locked in and training with steady discipline as he gets ready for his showdown with Jake Paul. His camp highlights power sessions, footwork drills, and a composed confidence as he fine-tunes every part of his game. On the other side, Jake Paul is also putting in serious work, determined to show he can compete with an elite-level boxer. The build-up features both fighters grinding hard, raising interest and speculation about how this unexpected and highly talked-about matchup will unfold.
Dangers of a late replacement. But then it's like, that's just the mind thinking that, and then it's like, stay professional, stay focused, do your film study, and don't take the guy.
Anthony Joshua is sharpening up in camp with full assurance, fully aware that he's the stronger and more seasoned fighter compared to Jake Paul. But even with that confidence, he keeps pushing himself daily, determined to make a statement. His mission is straightforward: enter the ring, take control from the first moment, and silence all the talk and trash coming from Jake.
Just don't expect anything from anyone. People are entitled to talk about sparring. People are entitled to not talk about sparring. I just got to make sure that I handle my own corner. And how I'm gonna handle my own corner is go out to fight every night that the dates are put in front of me.
Eddie Hearn points out that the financial proposal given to Anthony Joshua is simply too big to overlook, especially at this point in his career. Joshua has already accomplished nearly everything a heavyweight could hope for, so taking a highly paid fight is more of a strategic move than a desperate one. Hearn explains that boxing has always been a blend of legacy and earnings, and when a fighter is offered a huge payday for a matchup he can manage without taking major risks.
Sparring for behind closed doors. Let all the fans see it. Do it in a ring, get paid for it. I mean, it's be the biggest fight ever. Why do you want to do that? That's nonsense. It's stupid, ridiculous. Want to make the fight?
He emphasizes that Joshua isn't doing anything unusual by accepting it. He's just taking advantage of the opportunities in front of him. According to Hearn, no fighter would realistically reject easy money when it lines up with training, timing, and long-term career planning. In his eyes, Jake Paul offering such a massive purse has simply opened a door, and Joshua is stepping through it because boxing is also a business where major financial offers deserve real consideration.
I'm not saying he can't fight, I'm not saying he's rubbish, I'm not saying he's useless, but we will see how good he is. And if I'm right in what I'm saying, he'll quit.
Chisora gets right to the point. Jake's sparring partners aren't pushing him, and it's obvious in every messy exchange. That clip isn't a one-off. It exposes the risky gap between the hype surrounding Jake and the reality of his skill level. His training camp isn't giving him the kind of preparation needed for top-tier opponents, leaving him vulnerable against fighters like AJ who perform their best when the pressure is real.
He's got any sparring camp. I personally don't believe that you can actually... The sparring partners he's got right now, they're pushing him to be...
Johnny Nelson points out what those sparring clips were already hinting at. Jake's legs just aren't holding up. Even a flawless training camp wouldn't be enough to hide that decline. At AJ's level, footwork and conditioning aren't optional. They're essential. And Jake's shortcomings in both areas are impossible to ignore.
And I said, look, if you're to believe that he had the best training camp, his legs have gone. And if I've got it wrong.
Luke McKenzie points out how unrealistic it is for Jake Paul to jump in against AJ. The money may be tempting, but the danger is on another level. McKenzie says the sparring clip alone proves Jake isn't prepared for the kind of damage a world-class heavyweight can deliver. He stresses the mismatch clearly. Even one clean punch from Joshua could put Jake in serious trouble, exposing the difference between fantasy and the harsh reality of elite boxing.
Does he have the power to knock out Joshua?
Nah, he hasn't got the power. Oh, God, Joshua.
How does that fight end?
Jake Paul going in an ambulance, bro.
Duke McKenzie calls it unrealistic for Jake Paul to move up and face AJ. The payday might be massive, but the danger that comes with it is just as real. McKenzie says the sparring clip already shows Jake isn't prepared for the kind of punishment an elite heavyweight can deliver. He stresses that the matchup is completely one-sided. Even one solid shot from Joshua could put Jake in serious trouble, exposing the gap between the hype and the reality.
This is his fight of his career. If he wants to get 100 million and not even break sweat, you know, you take the fight. Is it going to enhance his stock as the world's #1 contender? Not at all, because nobody's going to take Jake Paul seriously. But on the other hand, should I don't even want to play devil's advocate. What if Joshua hurts this guy, seriously hurts this guy?
Yeah. Shannon Briggs offers a grounded take, cutting through all the hype around Jake Paul. He acknowledges the reports of Jake getting dropped in sparring, but frames it as part of the learning process, comparing it to his own early mistakes in the ring. The main point is that while Jake has faced setbacks, he still has the opportunity to prove himself. However, Briggs' tone carries a subtle note of caution. His repeated comments about "we're going to see" suggest that these sparring clips are more than minor stumbles. They're early warning signs. Against a seasoned fighter like AJ, those mistakes could be magnified dramatically.
Things that he'd been dropped in the ring and in the gym and stuff like that. But that's okay too, because I took a couple spills, you know, little slips in the ring and the gym. That's okay, but we're going to see. This
Hearn delivers a brutally honest assessment. He points out that Jake Paul has slowed, and his recent performances highlight limits that hype and social media fame can't cover. The sparring clips make it obvious. Jake's stamina, timing, and defensive skills aren't anywhere near world-class. Hearn also notes that even against lower-level sparring partners, Jake is struggling. For anyone watching the upcoming AJ fight, these are serious warnings. Slowing down in training and showing vulnerability in sparring suggests a fighter who may not last a single full professional round against an elite-level boxer.
He is looking like a beast in camp for this fight, because he would have put everything into this camp. But it doesn't mean that can always translate in a ring when you get to the back end of your career. He's had loads of injuries. He's definitely coming.
Tony Bellew doesn't hold back. He points out that Jake Paul's rigid stance, low hands, and sparring performance reveal serious technical flaws. Stiffness and poor positioning are deadly against a professional like AJ, where timing, reflexes, and precision decide everything. Bellew's anecdote about effortlessly exploiting Jake's laziness highlights just how exposed he is. This isn't mere sparring drama. It's a clear example of why Jake's hype might crumble under real pressure. Fans should understand that fame or being on camera can't make up for fundamental deficiencies when facing a seasoned puncher like Joshua. The gaps Bellew identifies could quickly translate into devastating consequences in the ring.
A fight like fuck, he's fucking stiff. He's going to be fighting like this, and he's going to
yeah.
Bro, I come in and I was just, hand was low and lazy, and I was just waiting for you.
Tommy Fury delivers a sharp reality check for Jake Paul. His pointed comments highlight the massive gap in skill, power, and experience between AJ and Jake. Even with allowances, Tommy suggests Joshua could finish Jake almost instantly, showing just how unprepared he is for elite-level competition. This isn't empty bravado. It's a clear demonstration of the difference between hype and reality. Fury's observations reinforce what other experts have already noted. Sparring clips, leg fatigue, low hands, and technical flaws all point to a fighter dangerously out of his depth. Against AJ, Jake's mistakes won't go unnoticed. They'll be exploited without mercy.
If I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there...
Logan Paul doesn't hold back, offering a sharp and sobering perspective on Jake Paul's challenge. He frames the situation with brutal honesty. AJ is a proven knockout artist, capable of dismantling even the toughest undefeated fighters. Francis Ngannou being knocked out for 5 minutes isn't just a stat. It's a warning. Logan stresses that Jake's reputation as a boxer, largely built on social media hype and YouTube fame, disappears the moment he steps into the ring with a seasoned professional like Joshua. This isn't about promotion or spectacle. It's about real skill, timing, and devastating power. His comment that every bit of Jake Paul is not a real boxer perfectly captures how fragile Jake's hype really is. Logan's insight serves as a reminder to fans and casual viewers alike. True talent, preparation, and elite-level execution always expose the illusion. leaving no room for theatrics against a world-class champion like Joshua.
Thing is crazy.
Is that a real conversation?
Jake's a fucking lunatic, and it's probably real. I saw Joshua knock out Francis Ngannou, and the guy was like out cold for 5 minutes. And this is a guy who had never been knocked down, let alone knocked out.
If he steps in the ring with him, and actually a bell rings and there are punches thrown, every bit of Jake Paul is not a real boxer conversation is gone.
Derek Chisora delivers a hard-hitting analysis of what to expect if Joshua faces Jake Paul. He emphasizes the huge gap in class, experience, and power, pointing out that Jake likely couldn't last more than a few rounds against AJ. Chisora references Joshua's one-round demolitions of Francis Ngannou and Gano, highlighting the speed, precision, and efficiency with which Joshua dismantles even top-tier opponents. The message is clear. This isn't an experiment. It would be a one-sided display from the start. Chisora also underscores the psychological element. Surviving multiple rounds would be unrealistic, and any mistake could lead to public embarrassment. Beyond technique, AJ's mental dominance over his opponents is decisive. Jake's hype and bravado would quickly vanish under the scrutiny of a world-class champion.
I told Anthony, I already messaged Anthony. I was like, listen, I tell you what, I said to AJ, if this goes past 5 rounds, everybody's going to be having a go at you because you can't go past 5 rounds with this kid. It has to go past 1 round or 2 rounds. Past beyond 4 or 5 rounds, you know, people are going to be doubting you as a fighter himself. So he has to smoke him out like what he did Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia in one.
Frank Warren offers the perspective of a seasoned promoter, blending recognition of the risk with acknowledgement that Jake Paul knows what he's getting into. While he calls it a dangerous fight, Warren stresses that Jake isn't naive. He's a licensed boxer who trains and understands the stakes. Yet the reality is stark. Awareness alone doesn't close the huge gap between a YouTube star and a world-class champion like AJ. Warren's measured analysis cuts through the hype, highlighting that confidence and belief, while important, can never replace elite skill, timing, and resilience.
It's a dangerous fight. Of course, it's a dangerous fight. But I'm not here to be there selling their show. I've got no interest in the fighters from that perspective. I just think that he is a licensed boxer. He's trained. He knows what he's getting involved with. He's not an idiot, and he knows what he's going to be up against. But he must believe in.
Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua matchup has been dissected from every angle, from sparring clips to expert analysis. Each example we've covered shows the same reality. Jake's hype doesn't match world-class skill. From Tom Little's blunt warnings to Derek Chisora's detailed breakdowns and Logan Paul's chilling comparisons to Ngannou, it's clear Jake is outmatched. Legends like Tony Bellew, Johnny Nelson, and Tommy Fury all highlight the same issues. Technical flaws, stamina limitations, and a lack of real fight experience leave him dangerously exposed. Even Frank Warren points out that awareness and confidence alone won't protect Jake from AJ's precision, power, and ruthless efficiency.